Good afternoon, Barbara. How are you today?
I'm good.
Oh, that's good. What happened to your face?
Long story. It's kind of hard for me to talk about it because it's like I get flashbacks of what happened, and I don't really like to talk about it because
I can
it's
understand.
devastating.
Well, since I meeting last week, I've been giving a lot of thought as to how I can best be of service to you. And after speaking with some of my colleagues who are more advanced and have more experience in this area than myself, they gave me some suggestions as well. And one of the things I like to run by you is to get your feedback on is, do you know anything about psychotherapy?
I don't.
No. Well, I'm sure you maybe seen on television where people go into a doctor's office and they lay back on the couch and put their feet up and just run their mouth for like 60 minutes. Well, that's kind of basically the gist of it. But between you and I, there's no need for you to lay down, and I'm not going to hypnotize you. I don't have those skills. But what I would like to do is work collaboratively with you on helping you to begin to understand what it is in your past that allows you to accept in your present the violence that's being committed against you and sometimes your children as they try to protect you. What do you think about that?
That sounds like it can be really helpful, especially in my case.
I think so too. Not only that, because remember you also told me a little bit about your mother and that she was also a victim of abuse.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question, and you tell me whether you agree with this question or not. Do you believe that love is learned?
Yeah,
Okay, explain. What makes you believe that?
because love, it comes in all shapes and sizes. It's a feeling, it's a lesson, it's a teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I think God or the Most High or our Creator puts us in situations that are only tough enough for us to handle, and a lot of those situations deal with love, but
Mm-hmm.
it's to a certain extent to where love can be a lesson learned because we tend to say I love you to somebody, but we kind of truly don't really know what love is. So we have to we have to be taught a lesson on what it is and how it is and what it actually means. There's more.
Allow me to interrupt you for one moment. Think about it in this context. When you came into the world, who was your primary caregiver? Who took care of you?
My mother.
Okay. And did your mother demonstrate her feelings of love
Yes.
and care towards you?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, then you could say you believe in love because your mother taught you how to love on the basis of the way she
treated me
and loved you. I think that almost anything that we go through in life and learn how to handle and deal with is through a learned experience. And that's what I hope to do with you uh, by using the intervention of psychotherapy. I believe that you are a victim of intergenerational abuse, which means that you learned from your mother, from watching your mother being abused. She learned from her mother, watching her mother being abused, and perhaps, I dare say, even your great grandmother learned, was probably a victim of the same dynamic, that being abuse. I think you learned from watching your mother to accept it. Because how long was your father and mother together?
since birth.
Well, since your birth, so in other words, as long as you've known them.
Yeah.
They've been together. And has it always been a part of that your father would beat your mom? Would hit your mom?
Yeah, it was like more so like, you know how every man is, they have their good days and their bad days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it was.
But you did see him hurt your mom?
Yeah.
Okay. And then did your mother ever come and sit and talk to you about how she felt about it?
Yeah.
And what were some of the things she may have said to you to try to help you understand why she stayed?
She basically would tell me that she's only doing this to stay for the main reason to take care of us because it does help financially and emotionally and mentally to take care of us. So I accepted it, but she always told me that she don't ever want me to sit there and take the abuse But because of watching my mother do it, I tend to sit there and take the same thing because I do it on the strength of my children. I take it and on the strength of me because I know without him, I can't function correctly.
That's where you're wrong. And hopefully, through our working together, I will be able to help you to understand that, number one, you are more than worthy of being treated with decency and respect. Number two, that you're not as helpless as you may. I think what I'm trying to get across to you is that you have patterns of behavior that you learned from your mother. The same way that you learned how to love and how to demonstrate love to your children is on the basis of the way your mother treated you and the things she taught you about love. And in the same way, that's the positive. But on the other end of that stick is the negative. You watch your mother be abused, you watched her stay, and you gave me reasons why. One, she felt financially she couldn't take care of her children without him. You know what I mean? She was probably very afraid to jump out there by herself because she didn't feel she had any skills. And it's almost kind of like looking in the mirror. It's like the mirror effect. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You look in the mirror, you see you, but you really see your mother. And psychotherapy is going to be a good way to help you to look back in time to see where you first began repeating the same cycle of acceptance and tolerance for the abuse that's being committed against you. Okay? I'm here to let you know that, number one, you're very, very intelligent. Number two, I know you're job worthy. Okay? Number three, your children all seem to adore you, so that says a lot about you in terms of your parenting and everything. And believe it or not, your husband probably loves you too. But that's a whole nother dynamic that we hopefully at some point, as we're working together, maybe we can even have your husband come in and sit in on some of our sessions, so maybe we can help him to gain some insight, okay, into why he does the things that he does. But right now, my primary focus is you. How are you doing right now in terms of your physical safety? Are you feeling comfortable staying where you are for now, or do you have an immediate desire to want to change your situation and try to get you somewhere that's safe, more safe?
Yes.
You like to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have some good information for you. You know, the YWCA, right here on the hill, they have a shelter for women and children who are being abused. And whenever you tell me that you're ready, you know what I mean? I can even accompany you. I can even accompany and go with you there and help you with the intake process. Make sure they have a space available for you and your children. But see, these are decisions that you have to make. I can't make them for you. I don't want to encourage you. I do want to encourage you to put yourself first and your children first, and your welfare and your well-being and your safety first. But how you want to go about that, it has to be your final decision. So, is that what you like to do now? You would like to contact the Y?
That's the best thing for me, especially in my predicament.
So you just about had enough of...
More than enough. It's like unbearable now.
Okay. I can understand that. You know what I mean? Being a female myself, I can only imagine what it must feel like, you know, to have someone beat you at will. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of that has to do with his need to control. He need to feel like he has some type of power and control. But we're going to learn how, hopefully through this process of working together and everything, you're going to learn how to become self-empowered. You know, self-determined. And what I mean by that is you're going to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet as a strong, proud, independent black woman. Capable, more than capable of taking care of herself and her children. And once you reach that point in your process, you'll really appreciate that you don't have to take any abuse from anybody. Okay?
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. All right, so why don't we begin by making some phone calls to the different shelters and see, you know, where they have space available, and then we'll take care of seeing how we go about getting you and your children out safely. Is that going to be a problem?
No, not at all.
And everything, because, well, your husband, is he working now? He has a temporary job or something because I don't want him to realize that you're about to leave and then he hurts you.
He has a permanent job to where he mainly is gone throughout majority of the day. So I think when he leaves for work is like the best time to get me and my children out of there as soon as possible.
I think that sounds really good. Okay, so we'll make the phone calls today, and then make arrangements for a place of safety for you and your children, and then you can tell me what day it is that you think you'll be ready, and then I'll have the appropriate authorities and people in place to try to make sure that you're removed from that situation that's hurting you and your children to a place of safety. And then after that, once you're settled in there and you know that you're safe from immediate harm and danger, then we can proceed with the psychotherapy and maybe some other little things, other little tricks. And I mean that help you to begin to realize that you're special. That you're special because you are.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, honey. Okay, let's start these phone calls. Hello there again, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed my interview with my client who was being domestically abused. I myself found it to be a learning experience, one that I'm going to carry with me. This young mother, seemed very determined to change her circumstances and the lifestyle of herself and her children. And she seemed really, really sincere in her desire to no longer be abused or to remain a victim. In conclusion to this interview with her, I'd like to say that I firmly believe that the psychoanalyst as an intervention is going to prove most helpful and beneficial to her because of the way in which she has learned to accept and tolerate the abuse being committed against her. It has been my experience in working with various populations that usually our behaviors are based on our past experiences and things learned. This young lady, Barbara, in my opinion, definitely learned to be tolerant and accepting of the physical abuse committed against her by her husband because she actually witnessed the abuse and assault being committed against her own mother. And when I asked her if her mother had ever sat with her and expressed to her feelings in relationship to the abuse she was suffering, it became very evident to me that my client, Barbara, was feeling some of the same things, like her sense of inadequacy, her sense of inferiority, her feeling of that she could not make it without her husband, which in my opinion is demonstrative of her sense of once again inadequacy. But overall, I think that Barbara is very, very intelligent, and I think that she's ready to make a change and to break the cycle of abuse. So, because I'm quite sure her having two daughters of her own, she does not want them to continue in the same cycle. So she has a desire to break that cycle. I was also most impressed with her when we were talking about her immediate needs. She was able to verbally express, her desire for change, immediate change. She was determined that she was no longer willing to be a victim of spousal abuse or battering, and she wanted and needed for her children to also feel safe. So when she asked that we do something immediately, it was refreshingly. It was a refreshingly positive attitude that she's already moving towards. Even though she has a low sense of self in terms of her abilities, I think the love that she has for her family and the love that I'm hoping that she's going to learn to even deepen and strengthen for herself is permitting her the desire to move forward. As her counselor or clinician, I think it would be most important for me to remain in close contact with this client because of the witnesses that I see within her. Like, number one, being her primary fear of reprisal from her husband. It's very, very important for us as social workers to be able to express to our clients, not only verbally, but in terms of our actions and behaviors in their regard, that they are worthy and most deserving of the services that are available to them. And in this case, the YWCA being a powerful resource, one that Barbara could move towards and move into in an immediate manner to help her children to be safe, and not only her children but herself to be safe as well. Other than that, I don't think that there's anything else I could say about this video role play, except that once again, I believe that as a social worker, it is our utmost obligation and duty to always remember to keep the client first. You know, I could have gone on and on about my own personal experiences of abuse, but why? When that all that would have served to do would be to distract attention from the client onto myself, and that to me is very, very much inappropriate. So anyway, I'm looking forward to you guys' feedback. Anything that you have to share with me would be most appreciated. And all I can say is thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.